What's up, family? Man, this is gonna be rough. This one's gonna be rough. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. I make no apologies for that. This is a channel for, man, for those of you going through boot camp, spiritual boot camp. You know what I mean? I'm that motherfucking drill sergeant. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be in your motherfucking chest, in your ear, challenging you, pushing you, not because I'm tearing you down or any of that other stupid stuff, but because I want to see you reach your full potential. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be hard. I'm gonna be just, Why? Because I gotta get it out of you. You know what I mean? That's why I'm here. That's why I am the way that I am. You know what I mean? I'm not your mama. I'm not, come here, me home. Come here, daddy. Come here, Poppy. No, I'm not that motherfucker. You know what I mean? At all. At all. I'm not that guy. I'm that motherfucker that's gonna be in your motherfucking chest. I'm gonna give you a high five. I'm gonna give you a dap, a chest bump when you do good, a fist bump when you do good. Man, I'm gonna do the same thing when you fuck up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do the same thing when you fuck up, but I'm gonna be in your fucking head talking to you. Come on, lace them up. Let's go. Let's go. Get the fuck up. Dry the fucking tears. Stop fucking whining. Stop fucking crying. Get your fucking life together. Get your fucking act together. Get your fucking mind together. Enough of the whining shit. Enough of the fucking victim shit. We don't do that shit here. Grow the fuck. If you want to cry and whine, take your ass back out to the motherfucking streets. We ain't doing that shit over here. You know what I mean? That's not what motherfucking chosen ones do. That's not what spiritual giants do. We don't sit around pouting and whining and crying about shit. We grow through the motherfucker. And it is what it is. Man, so there's a passage in the scripture. Well, before we get into that, if these videos have blessed you, man, family, shoot me an email at ElijahAmmi@gmail.com or just drop a comment and just tell me how much these videos have blessed you and just how you've grown, through the videos. And if they ain't blessed you, peace, you can say the same, I'm big enough to handle that shit. You know what I mean? I've been criticized my whole fucking life. Ain't changed shit. You know what I mean? But there's a passage in the scripture that's always tripping me out. And again, I just dropped a video today. This video will come out, it'll be Saturday morning, Eastern Standard Time. I dropped a video Friday, why they can't stand us. And just talking about just how our light, it draws them to us, but then it turns around after it draws them to us because they feel safe and nurtured and protected in our presence. And after they've been in our presence for a while, how our same light, our same energy, our same frequency now shows them that, man, you got to lace them up. Okay, I drew you in with that same energy. You feel nurtured and protected. Now you got to grow the fuck, now you got to deal with your shit. You can't just sit here and pout. You can't just sit here and just sing kumbaya and, and just twiddle your thumbs and act like you've arrived because you're in the presence of a chosen one. You're in the presence of greatness. You can't just sit here and just like, oh, okay, I'm great now because I got this motherfucker. Oh, I'm great now because look at who I'm rocking with. Nah, you got to lace them up and you got to go harder now. You know what I mean? You got to go harder now. You got to do some real shit now. The light's on you 24/7. Are you man enough to handle that fucking pressure? Are you woman enough to handle that shit? Everybody ain't ready for the big stage. Everybody ain't ready for the lights. It's a whole lot of motherfuckers that think they ready. They can sing their ass off, but when they get up on stage, they fucking nut up. They freeze up. They can't open their motherfucking mouth. It's a whole lot of motherfuckers think they funny as fuck until they get on the mic and somebody heckles them from this audience. And now that motherfuckers lost their fucking train of thought. They just own one. It's a whole lot of motherfuckers that talk the talk, but they ain't ready for the fucking action. It's a whole lot of motherfuckers think they battle tested. A whole lot of motherfuckers think they can fight until they get into the fight. So a whole lot of motherfuckers think they can handle the military and they ready for this shit. They ready for war until they go overseas and bullets are flying back at their ass. This is gonna be rough. This is gonna be rough. Everybody ain't ready for this shit. Everybody ain't cut out for this. Everybody ain't cut out to hang out with chosen ones. Everybody can't be in the presence of chosen ones. Everybody can't be in the presence of that greatness. And it is what it is. But here's the trick. There's a passage in the Bible that's always intriguing me, and it's Jesus, Joshua, whatever you want to call him. He handpicked his 12 disciples. He hand-selected. He chose his 12. And one of them was the name of Judas. And Jesus picked Judas. And Judas was part of Jesus' inner circle, as far as the 12. And what I mean by that, Judas went with Jesus everywhere. Judas handled all the finances. Judas did. Judas handled the money. Everybody ain't on your team. Every chosen ones, everybody on your team ain't on your motherfucking team. Everybody on your team ain't looking out for you. Everybody trying to get close to you don't want the best for you. Everybody's getting around you don't want to see you succeed. It's a whole lot of motherfuckers around you that you handpicked, that only want you because you bring something to the table for them. It ain't about you. You just a means to an end. You just a means for me to get paid. I see you. You're a nice vehicle. Okay, I'm gonna ride this bitch till the wheels fall off. Why? Because this is gonna be my fucking cash cow. I'm gonna get paid off it. I'm gonna get some notoriety off this. I'm gonna get fame off of this. I'm gonna get whoop from hanging out with this motherfucker. I got clout just because I'm attached to your ass. I don't bring shit to the fucking table. Nobody knows my motherfucking name. I ain't good for shit, can't do shit, but I'm hanging out with you. I'm in your presence. Therefore, I'm somebody. We're going there today. We're going there. And the price of that, they can't handle. What am I saying? So when you look at the story of Judas, Judas handled the money. Judas betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. 30 pieces of silver. God help me. That was planned. That was plotted. Judas had been with Jesus from the beginning. Judas saw all the fucking miracles Jesus did. Judas was there when Jesus walked on water. Judas was there when Jesus raised the dead back to life. Judas was there when Jesus took the few pieces of fish and bread and fed the thousands and had baskets left over. Judas was there when the water was turned to wine. Judas was there. Jesus imparted his power into the 12 and sent them out. And they all came back talking about, man, we cast out devils and we healed the sick and we raised it and we did all this stuff. Judas was one of them. Judas knew the heart of Jesus. Talking about the price of betrayal. Judas knew Jesus. Intimate with Jesus, broke bread with Jesus, slept in the same area with Jesus, traveled with Jesus. He was there when Jesus taught. And Judas sold him out. And after he sold him out, he didn't sell him out. He sold them all and said, check this out. Because the people didn't even know who Jesus was. The Roman soldiers who was coming to get Jesus, they didn't even know who Jesus was. Jesus hadn't even got on their fucking register. They hadn't even noticed his ass. Judas had to say, man, you'll know him because I'll walk him and I'll give him a kiss on the cheek. Judas kissed Jesus on the cheek as he betrayed him, as he sold him out, as he hung him out to dry. Talking about the price of betrayal. And so the soldiers took him, and Judas got his money. See, here's the trick. There was a Judas who sold him out. But there was a Peter who pulled his sword ready to go to fucking war. There was a Judas who betrayed him, but there was a Peter ready to die, ready to kill. That's a different story. We'll come to that at a different date. Judas took the silver. And after he thought about it, he had been thought about it, but it didn't really hit him until after he did what he did. It didn't really hit him until after the king got his ass. Talking about king got Jesus. Now the weight of what he did, the price of what he did, hit him like a ton of fucking bricks. Judas tried to give the money back. Judas felt bad for what he did. He tried to give the money back and change it up. They wasn't having it. Judas went out and hung himself. He hung himself. He committed suicide because of his actions. Talking about the price of betrayal. And I've never really understood that in depth. And so I started going through some shit. And God had to show me, Elijah, all these stories, all these things in the Bible are there for a reason. Because as a chosen one, you're going to be betrayed by those you love the most. You're going to be betrayed by those you value the most. You're going to be betrayed by those you're the most intimate with. You're going to be betrayed by those that know your heart. Know the real you. Those are the ones that are going to betray you. Those are the ones that's going to sell you out. And after they sell you out, after they dog you the fuck out, the guilt, the shame that they're going to have to fucking carry, it's going to be overwhelming for them. It's not going to be like anything that they've ever experienced before. The guilt and the shame that they carried, that they're having to carry, that they're having to deal with, is going to fuck them up. Oh, God help me. Judas handled the money. Judas had a greedy spirit. Judas had a selfish spirit. Judas was looking out for himself. What can I get out of this? How can I get paid? How can I come out of this looking good? How can I come up? What's in this for me? There's chosen ones. There are those that have sold you out. And they sold you out for the come up. They sold you out because they thought it was going to benefit them. They sold you out because there's something in it for them. Whether that was to see you get destroyed and the pride of, yeah, I brought that raggedy motherfucker down. I told that motherfucker I was going to end his fucking career. I told that motherfucker I was going to take care of his fucking relationship. I told that motherfucker that. And so they get all hyped up over that stupid ass bullshit. That's what means the most to them. Because they really think they did some shit. They think that they put a wrench in the plans. They think they don't stop some shit. I made a video a few days ago. The price of our ignorance. Heavy is the cost of our ignorance. Judas betrayed Jesus after he saw all the things that Jesus did. Judas betrayed Jesus after he experienced all the things that he did with Jesus. Can you imagine how many people looked at Jesus' 12 disciples and wished that they were part of that crew? Can you imagine how many young men who saw the 12 disciples hanging out with Jesus, and everywhere Jesus went, they were right there with him, and wished that they were part of that crew, wished that they were part of that inner circle, wished they had Judas' spot? Can you imagine how many young people saw the 12 and was jealous of them? How many young people, how many young guys saw Judas because he was part of the 12 and wished that they could have been Judas? He was right there, connected, and sold him out, betrayed him. We understand he needed to do that because of what Jesus, Joshua, came here to do. So there had to be a Judas. But it didn't have to be Judas. It could have been anyone. But Judas allowed it to be himself. Judas allowed it to be himself. These people who betrayed you, these people who dogged you the fuck out, thinking they were going to stop some shit, they didn't stop a damn thing. Everything happens in divine timing. And it's always to reveal the real. Did you catch that? Everything happens in divine timing to reveal the real. What am I saying? The real. Judas was there, always there. But they couldn't see Judas' heart. Judas was there, always there. Judas was part of the people that went out and healed the sick and preached and did all this other stuff. Cast out devils. Judas did all this stuff. But his motives were tainted. His motives were tainted. But you couldn't see his motives. You saw what he did. You saw who he was connected to. The price of that betrayal. And he died. For what? For what? He sold him out. Because that was part of the plan. He needed to sell him out. To show us that we're going to be sold out. It is what it is. But even though he sold him out, he didn't stop shit. It was always part of the plan. Them selling you out. It was always part of the plan. It didn't have to be them. They allowed it to be them. They allowed it to be them. It had to be somebody. But it ain't got to be you. Don't get connected to source. Just to fall back. Don't get connected to source. To be a lesson. And what I mean to be a lesson of what not to be. To be a lesson of who not to follow. Who not to emulate. Connected to source. I said, fuck that. I'd rather have 30 pieces of silver. Connected to source. Saw all the miracles and the people being healed and just the miraculous things taking place. Fuck those people. I want to get paid. I don't give a damn about all these people eating. I don't give a damn about all these sick people. I don't give a damn about all these dead people. I don't give a damn about these blind motherfuckers. I don't give a damn about these deaf motherfuckers, these mute motherfuckers, these crippled motherfuckers. I don't give a damn about none of them. I want to get paid. That was the mentality of Judas. And the weight of that decision cost him everything. The weight of that decision cost him his connection, cost him the guilt and the shame of betraying his brothers, of betraying humanity. It was too much for him to bear. And the truth is, there's a lot of people out there right now that has betrayed a chosen one. And that shame, that guilt is eating them alive. That shame, that guilt is fucking them up. And they can't handle it. And it is what it is. And it's going to be what it's going to be. That's none of our concern. It ain't. It shouldn't be. Our concern shouldn't be how they feel as chosen ones. We want to know sometimes, like, dang, God, how can they just keep doing woo, da, 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 da. And so God put the story in the Bible to show us that they're going to catch theirs. They're going to have their come to Jesus moment. And when they have their come to Jesus moment, it's going to fuck them up. When they have their come to Jesus moment, it's going to destroy them. And the trip is, I never understood that, because I'm like, well, hold on, wait a minute. How come the other 11 didn't put hands on this motherfucker? How come the other 11 disciples didn't grab this motherfucker and stomp the shit out of him? If Peter pulled his sword on a fucking Roman soldier, you don't think he would have pulled his sword on this raggedy motherfucker? And what God had shown me was, when they fuck with a chosen one, you ain't got to do shit to them. You ain't got to retaliate. Their guilt, their shame, the fact that they won't be able to forgive themselves is going to be all the punishment they need. It's going to be the torment that they need. See, you putting hands on them and beating the shit out of you. You putting hands on them and chopping off their motherfucking head. You putting hands on them and hurting the fuck out of them. Man, they want that because they want that pain to go away of the guilt. And by you taking them out, it stops their pain. By you beating the shit out of them, it justifies their pain. By you reacting and retaliating, it justifies their pain. And so Judas was alone. And so God told me, lead them in their motherfucking misery. Lead them to their motherfucking cells. Lead them to their own issues. On the streets, we understand that, man, when somebody fuck up, man, they belong to the streets. The streets got them. That's street justice. They belong to the streets. When somebody betrays a chosen one like that, when somebody attacks and dogs out a chosen one, they belong not to the streets, they belong to their ego. They belong to their ego. They've been a slave to their ego. That's why they did what they did. Whether it's insecurity, low self-esteem, self-hatred, self-sabotaging, jealousy, envy, whatever the reason why they did what they did, it was ego-based. They belong to their ego. And now their ego is going to punish them. And their ego is going to punish them not by saying, look, punish them by punishing them. Their ego is going to fuck them up with the shame and the guilt. The agony of what they've done. That's going to be their hell. That's going to be their torment. That's going to be their nightmare. That they got to live with. Man. Hope and pray and said that I said something to encourage you, to inspire you, to challenge your way of thinking. We have to grow up, family. We have to grow up. As chosen ones, man, we came here to be a beacon of hope, a beacon of love, a beacon of light. We came here to be an inspiration, a breath of fresh air to a darkened world. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.